5 months of protests in Hong Kong have left its economy even weaker than many economists had expected. The international financial hub was already feeling the brunt of the US-China trade war and a slower global economy. And some analysts say the city is heading towards an economic crisis. The economy shrank 3.2% in the third quarter after slowing 0.5% the previous quarter. Analysts considered 2 consecutive quarters of contraction a sign of recession. It's Hong Kong's first in about 10 years. Anti-Beijing protests have forced shops to close, disrupted public transportation and resulted in airlines cancelling hundreds of flights. As many potential travellers look elsewhere for their next holiday, Hong Kong's businesses are offering some deep discounts to draw visitors back. Grace Lee has more in this report.
Protests, tear gas, and 21 weeks of chaos. Hong Kong was once a must-see for travelers worldwide, but its reputation as a tourist hotspot has taken a hit in the past few months. The effects of the protests here are even being felt in Tai O, a rural town on Lantau Island. In the first month of the protests, Veronica Chan says 10 customers canceled their stays at her B&B.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
She's resorted to offering discounts on rooms, not just for international visitors, but locals too.
We are kind of, very, very worn out by what's going on in the city center. And it's the best choice to give yourself a rest.
As protests drag on and visitors dry up, Hong Kong's skyline is lighting up with discounts. Hotels have been cutting their prices with some room rates as low as $9 a night. Flights are cheap as well. Fares from London are less than $500. New York's just a $400 ride away. And major attractions are much less crowded. So is now a good time to visit Hong Kong's theme parks like Ocean Park or Hong Kong Disney? Well, it is if you don't like waits. Average wait times have been much shorter, and at Hong Kong Disney, it was hard to find any rides with lines to begin with.
I think for those that managed to decide to come to Hong Kong now, all the feedback I've heard has been positive. As long as they say they're being very well informed as where the protests are going to be, which hasn't affected the tourist area much.
Some travelers have been taking that leap, according to Chan. International travelers staying at her B&B have told her they've tailored their trips to stay away from the protests.
They said we do not need to go to city center, so it would not really affect my decision of coming to Hong Kong. So that was kind of surprising for me.
But the discounts are only a temporary band-aid for Hong Kong's businesses as visitors shy away from the region. Tourism numbers were down 40% in August compared to last year.
We have to pay for our staff's salary.
People are getting laid off, they're getting no pay leave. I've heard that, even the retail industry, people are starting to request staff. If you're a part-time job, they were not going to give you any hours anymore.
That leaves business owners like Chan with some tough decisions to make, especially as Hong Kong's protests show no signs of ending. Grace Lee, TRT World, Hong Kong.
And for more on this, Phar Kim Beng joins us now from London. He's a political economist and founder of the consulting firm Eco Strategic Insight. Welcome back to Money Talks, Phar Kim Beng. Now, as we heard there, months of protests have really scared away scores of tourists. It's paralysed businesses, public transport, large swathes of the city, really. Is that the main reason for the recession that's hit Hong Kong?
I think that's one of the key reasons, aside from the protests in the streets. The lingering effects of the Sino-American trade friction or war, if you may use that term, is also one of the contributing factors for the weakening of the Hong Kong economy over the last 2 quarters, which has contracted and led to a recession.
Yes, now with no end to these anti-government protests in sight, how much longer do you expect this recession to last?
Well, Hong Kong doesn't really have a genuine economy, so to speak, because Hong Kong economy is driven by the ability of the people to flip their property, so on and so forth. So right now the property prices in Hong Kong haven't really gone down. So the likelihood of the economy bouncing back, it's actually still there. Uh, the key to allowing Hong Kong to revive itself is the political grievances that are now generating from the bottom, from the society, that are ongoing. As long as the Hong Kong authorities are able to address the grievances of the people in the street, Hong Kong economy will enjoy a rebound.
Okay, and how likely do you think is that Hong Kong authorities will address the protesters' grievances? Because we saw lawmakers scrap that controversial extradition bill that sparked these protests in the first place, but they don't seem to be happy with that alone right now. Do you think this will end anytime soon?
I don't think so, because we are already coming towards the end of the year, and even the Halloween has been transformed into a day of demonstration and protest, albeit in a very ironical form, with people wearing the mask of the leader of China. So I think this protest will go on for quite some time, and it's very, very unfortunate. But otherwise, the Hong Kong economy still have its strengths in the financial services sector, but the tourism and the retail sector of the Hong Kong economy will definitely be hit by the prolonged demonstrations and protests.
Okay, still a volatile situation, one that we'll keep on watching. Phar Kim Beng, thank you so much again for your analysis.